automatically one viewer. Oakley dokley. Oakley dokley, folks. Let's see. Wow. Thanks for your one view. Bye. It's an ultra low latency. Okay, we're gonna want the desktop audio. Okay, we're gonna want the desktop audio. No, Steam is not started. So, we will skedaddle you over here. And we'll put this up here. Hello, one viewer. Thank you for the like. I was going to turn on the light, but I just realized I'm not actually going to be on cam much. But hey, I'm trying to provide more content like I've been saying for a while now, so I just turn that off. So, for some reason, I get a weird delay when I'm trying to start up this one game, and shouldn't be having that issue considering what I have for RAM right now. I have some DDR 4000 RAM in here. Let's see here now. Application window. And there we go. You should now be showing some PUBG. So, when I'm away from doing the stuff on YouTube, again, as I said, the generalized aspect of my channel is this channel isn't necessarily just about guitars and basses. My channel is basically a general interest channel for basically anyone who is a regular user at home who might like to play instruments, might like to play video games, whether it be on a console or a computer system like I got, and general topic in general. That sounds kind of idiotic to say, but it's the truth. And simple fact that that's basically what it is. Social commentary, social observations on what's going on in society, on YouTube, off of YouTube, and otherwise. So again, as I was saying before, I'm trying to get myself into doing more streaming and more videos for the channel. I need my watch time up, so that's why I am trying to put myself a bit more better. Not to mention, I do need 202 more subs to get to the 1000k plateau, which will be my first ever for this channel that's been open for since the end of 2009. Because of the nature of my channel being a very casual channel and not a serious channel, I understand why, or more so, why that's the biggest reason why I don't have 1,000 subscribers or the watch time. But again, I'm of the mindset of I would rather have honesty and integrity than be like, oh, follow my channel because I'm doing a ton of giveaways. No, I want people that are going to be honest, sincere, want to interact with me in an honest and sincere manner, as well as interact with each other. Share information. As I've said for many years, knowledge is power. And at the same time, you can give knowledge, but it's also up to the individual to actually be willing to accept it. And quite honestly, there are a lot of individuals out there that could give a rat's derriere about your information or advice or life experiences, which it's a shame, because that type of stuff, I feel, betters our life in our existence while we're still living. For that said, enough of my spiel. Good morning to all. Hope everyone had a good sleep, and hope everyone's going to have a good day. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to do some streaming of PlayerUnknown's Battleground, otherwise known short form as PUBG, which some people have probably heard me mention in the side chats that, oh, and I'm playing some PUBG. Well, again, despite some naysayers out there saying you don't need a powerful system and whatnot, when you do have a powerful enough system and multiple displays, again, when people sometimes see me looking to the left and right, it's because I have two Acer 144 hertz refresh rate LCD monitors up in front of me. So I'm looking up and over a lot, and you notice that. It's also been a lot better for my head and body because it's actually forces me to actually lean back and actually keep a better posture instead of being slumped forward and to try to look at screens and whatnot. So it's not good for your back. So getting back to what I was saying, what I have for a system today to play this on is, again, an AMD Ryzen 3600X, which has a base clock of 3.8 gigahertz, and it will boost on most cores automatically in its own little software control that AMD's put in the last two revisions. It will boost up to 4.3 or 4.4 gigahertz. Had that on a Gigabyte Aorus X570 Legend motherboard. I have two hard drives. The main hard drive that my Windows OS and Shield and some other basic apps are on. It is a Samsung 970 EVO M.2 drive, 500 gig, and it is only through the PCI Express 3.0 standard. There's better drives out there, but that is a future goal of trying to get this system to be maxed out and hopefully then have it that I can actually hold off on doing any computer upgrades for a couple years, even though new AMD stuff is around the corner in the end of 2022. For RAM, I found my last kit of RAM, which was some G-Skill Ripjaw V DDR4 3600. Second kit of RAM that was supposed to run at the rated speed, had decent reviews, has gone on sale a few times, or has been like relatively good priced RAM. This is the second kit I've had fail. The first one I received actually died, well, didn't even run properly for within the first 30 days, so I returned it. And the kit I just sent off to RMA at G Skills in Walnut, California, back on the 17th. That kit lasted at least, I would say, probably a year before it crapped out on the one module. And again, for anyone that actually is interested in computers, if your computer starts having odd things like self-shutting down, when it starts, it'll start up and then it'll go boom and go back down to like the off cycle and then start back up again, doing weird looping things. Don't necessarily think that it's, say, like your processor or your motherboard. It can definitely be your other components like your processor, your RAM, occasionally your hard drives, and video card, sound cards sometimes. Usually though, most people actually are using the onboard sound, which has improved over the years, but it does still put a strain on your computer if you're using it, and sometimes doesn't have the actual better quality than a dedicated sound card. So anyways, getting back to what I was saying about the RAM, I've now replaced the RAM. Luckily enough, I'm able to do the pay-per-month thing through Amazon Canada, and I have myself a kit of Crucial Ballistics Max gaming memory. So it's the same RAM size, so 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, except I have slightly better timings, and the RAM runs at 4,000 megahertz, or in general terms, 4 gigahertz, which I have noticed the speed difference in some instances. Also, video card, I am using a Sapphire Nitro Plus Special Edition Radeon 590 8 gig video card. So I don't have any problems playing modern games with the processor, RAM, and video card I have. Also, I forgot to mention I have a Seagate Firecuda SSHD secondary drive that is 2 terabyte for game backup and storage. If you don't know what an SSHD is, basically it's solid state. It has a solid state front end in it, like a SSD, but then also has a back end regular physical hard disk drive connected to it. So you get an initial quick speed up front, but when you actually need to move larger amounts of data, it defaults back to the performance of the hard disk inside the drive. Again, another quick comment about this. The way the market is, it is still pretty chaotic for putting together computer systems. No data. An excellent connection. Okay. Components are still kind of having issues with production. The pandemic that's currently going on has affected not only the workforce, but also the materials available. This has affected so many different aspects in production. It doesn't just affect the computer side of things. It also very much affects the other thing that I'm involved around: guitars, basses, effects pedals, amplifiers, all that kind of stuff. There's not people around to do the processing to make the materials to build a lot of these things that, you know, us the consumers in retail want to have and enjoy. So it's really hard. Computer components are really bad right now, especially video cards, because of the mining aspects with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and others out there that are currently out on the market. There was hope that the prices were going to come back down in availability as well on especially the video card side, but the reality is there's not enough countries out there that are making digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum and such illegal currencies. So while there's still countries out there that still validate digital currencies like that, video cards and things that will actually go towards the mining of those things are still going to be in demand. So good morning, Fart. Nice to see you. It's been a while. And yeah, exactly. So like video cards right now are absolutely ridiculous. Like even like I stick with AMD because, you know, AMD is kind of the underdog, and as of late they've actually came back and kind of been a big plus against Intel and helping. Again, as I say, as much as some people might want to go on a certain degree and say that I'm an AMD fanboy, it's like, no, actually, ultimately, I am a fanboy of the fanboy / pro consumer, meaning, you know, if everyone keeps buying the best product from said company, you know, we the consumer are going to be screwed. We will, again, like Fart mentioned, you know, if everyone buys NVIDIA video cards, NVIDIA video cards, you know, while there's competition from AMD and any other video card makers out there, NVIDIA doesn't have the ability to charge like ridiculous prices of like $2,000 for a video card. They then have to be competitive, and again, to us the consumer that actually does value our dollar, that's what we want. We want competition. We want you know, in regards to computer manufacturers, we want Intel and AMD to be more on an equal footing so that we, the consumer, get better processors and, you know, better processors, more advanced technology, and instead of for an outrageous amount of money, at a fair amount of money. Oh, the EVGA cards. I want the RTX 3090. Yeah, that's quite up there. Um, did you hear that EVGA is actually finally doing their first AMD motherboard after so many years? They're doing one based on the same chipset as I have, except they're doing it like they're Intel boards. Um, so right now the market is really bad for us, the consumer, while um, the pandemic stuff is going on. Um, while there's limitation in production by the manufacturers for whatever it is, um, computer components, guitar components, guitars, basses, amps, pedals, almost everything that the general consumer that has an interest in stuff will want to have, wants to buy. And so, because of that lack of availability, everything is up in price. Same thing as even food. Food is also getting pretty pricey, I hear, especially down there in the USA. Up here in Canada, it has gone up in price a little bit, but it's nothing majorly yet. So, also, Fert, great to see you too. Health issues have been keeping me down. Hopefully, I'm on the mend. I'm sorry to hear that. There's a lot of people that are going through health issues. Like I said, I spent the majority of the previously up to a month ago. I had probably like about a 2 inch or so bigger cyst in my abdominal, and I'd been dealing with that. And that kind of also played into a bit of why I really wasn't doing much, I think, too, because it wasn't like it was expelling itself out past my skin. I think it was actually expelling itself internally. So I probably had a lot of, toxins and crap going into my body. Since I've had it removed over a month ago now, it's been probably like this last probably week and a bit where I actually feel almost normal. Where I actually almost feel like that I can do stuff. I don't feel like I don't want to sleep as much as I wanted to, or lack energy or whatnot. I've heard. I bought and sold an EVH 5153 LBX2 a while back. Just bought another for $100 more than earlier. Awesome. Another one of the great things I would say between guitars, basses, musical instruments, and that, as well as computer stuff, is if you're smart about it, you can flip your existing assets to help go towards a further asset. Back when my mother was alive, she had a lot of her friends, like when she would tell them that I had upgraded my computer, and they'd be like, well, how can you do that? He doesn't get much money. And it's like she said to him, and like she in turn imparted to me. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't know that you had that. Well, you probably haven't made that too publicly known. I know some people on here don't want to share their personal stuff, and then there's also other individuals here on YouTube that, don't want to hear anyone's like personal stuff, like, oh, you shaved your armpits. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh, why the frig did you tell me that? But I hope as well, because you're an awesome person, and you definitely are not someone who deserves to, have to go through that. I know a few people that have gone through cancer. I still have a female friend down in Boston down around the Boston area. She is still currently going through cancer. She had her last set of treatments, but now her immune system is so buggered up because they actually had to remove lymph nodes and that because it had spread when they discovered it the second time. So, I mean, again, not to be another kind of like, drum beater, but again, you folks in the US should be complaining to your pharmaceuticals about what they sit on, because I mean the pharmaceuticals and the government apparently have remedies to stop cancer, and they're not willing to let it go because of the almighty dollar. Again, gotta love capitalism. Capitalism is awesome. Except for when you want to live. Then it's not so awesome. I'm still harping back to the one time that the one guy I used to game with, he actually, his wife, if it wasn't for him being an industrial electrician and his wife working for GM, she had cancer, and if she didn't have general manager's health coverage after her cancer treatments, they would have been in debt $1.1 million. And this was going back, probably 20 years ago now. So you can imagine with the way inflation is and everything else, that's probably like a, $2 million or even $3 million for to try to, exactly, fart. One of my wife's meds was $2K, and that's just it. Like $2,000. Up here, people want to say that Canadian healthcare is delayed and blah 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 blah, but you know what? You get cancer, you're not going into debt. You're not paying $2,000 for a required med for you to survive cancer and live. Yeah, every 30 days. Yep. And what's crazy is that one state down there now, I think it's Kentucky, if you actually have debt that is medical and you can't pay it within X amount of time, they'll throw your ass in jail. And it's like, how ridiculous is that? It's like, okay, well, yeah, thanks. I want to live, but, sorry if I'm having a hard time to, pay for it. Then on top of that, like, hey, thanks for throwing me in jail. I don't know how you expect to get your money then because I can't work while I'm in jail. Doesn't make any sense. Hey, House of Twang? House of Twang? Yeah. Like, it's just crazy. Like, the U.S. is, like, crazy. I'll talk a little bit about that. Wow. Yeah, that's even more crazier. In the Philippines, they won't let you leave the hospital until you pay. I do think there is some parts of the U.S. that are like that too, and that's like really, really, really nuts. So it's crazy. So, thank you to the 4 viewers and 3 likes I got so far, and House of Twang and Fart. I killed noobs. It's always funny because I want to say that Fart. I killed noobs. So hopefully people are gonna chat back and forth on the side here. Let me start playing the game here, which I started out. So again, this is PUBG, Player Unknown Battleground. We are playing at 1080p. Let me just pull up my details here so we can see, so I can show you guys all my settings. So full screen mode. There's obviously no NVIDIA product in here, so no English. See? We full screen 1920 by 1080. Lobby frames per second cap unlimited. In-game frames per second cap unlimited. I have disabled the smooth frame rate because it doesn't really matter at this point in time with the speed of monitor I have. Overall brightness 50. Another cool feature that they've done in the game here is they've actually enabled universal brightness for all maps. So you can actually see what each map looks like and the brightness effect that it'll have. My advanced settings. Render scale 100%. Field of view 90 degrees. Overall graphic quality high. Anti-aliasing. Post-processing. Shadows. Textures. Effects. Geez, that doesn't look Canadian at all, does it? A burning snowmobile. Foliage, view distance. In a lot of these games, view distance is a very important thing because even though it is a draw on the system, if you happen to have a player who's, say, like 100 meters away from you on a map and you have view distance done to short, there's a distinct chance you're not going to be able to pick up that person off in the distance because you're telling the computer to not render from very far away, to only render in your range. Sharpen, sorry, that's I believe an AMD setting. It just sharpens your image up, kind of a little bit like anti-aliasing. Vertical sync is applicable. Well, actually, prime example right there on the screen, what they show. The tail lights not totally lined up with each other, but the rest of the car seems to be almost lined up. Motion blur. I can't stand motion blur, so I don't play with it on. Audio, you're only hearing 2-channel stereo audio, but if I had this streaming at 1080p, or sorry, I could do the streams in like surround sound, but it's not really applicable because most people don't have surround sounds going on for their computer systems. Weapon sound effects, they actually remastered it a while back, so that's pretty cool. Controls, not much. Key binding, gameplay, colorblind mode, inventory, character render, crosshair color, and so forth and so forth. So we will go back. So what I shall do here is let's play the new featured Tago map. I've played this a little bit over the last day or two, and they've implemented some new systems, some new houses, a few new vehicles, and it's a nice big map that you don't feel confined in, and I think makes it a lot better for someone who's played PUBG to actually eke out a longer game. And there's a lot less shorter games on this map, And I think it's because they did the map what they call 8 by 8 in dimensions. So, again, hope everyone's had a good sleep. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Good day to yous that are over in the EU side of the world. I believe it's probably about 10 or so in the morning, maybe around noon for a lot of you folks. And to those of you on the West Coast, you're just kind of crawling out of bed. So, good morning to yous too as well. We have a game start. Also, if you're interested in possibly playing some games with me or me playing some games with you, I do have a Steam account. I do have a Uplay account. I do have an EA account. I have accounts on 3 or 4 of the major platforms, and I have a lot of the free games, plus some other games I've picked up here and there from cash and giveaways. So here's what the map looks like. And here we go. Splishity dishity splash. So let's see, where do I want to drop? There's a high bump in frame rate there looking up into the sky. Check for people around me. Nope. I can't remember what this map is based on. I think it's a Philippines-based map. Let's grab all these. Grab that, that's essential. Let's grab health pack. And we'll let us leave that single. Oh, that was a good choice. Okay. Two sinks, heating thing, crappy fridge. Yes, we need a scope. Yes, we need that. Red dot, angle, we need that. And if you want to beat somebody with a crowbar, beat up a door. Or throw it. Done that before. That's a cool element that they've actually enabled in the game. Is that now you can actually throw some of this stuff. Finally. Jeez. Oh, the K2 gun. Yeah, actually, let's switch out for the new gun. This is the one new gun here, the K2. So, we'll do that. Red dot there, put that there. Run, moose and square, run. Oh, someone is here. Well, we definitely will take that, though. Items, yay! Ooh. Some other nice goodies around here. Extended mag. Do I take the Kar 98? Let's take the SLR. D-E-D. Ooh, nasty. Oh, look, they served it up on a platter. Well, 7 mil definitely. Not much else otherwise of usefulness. Kill. Have a good morning. Talk to you later. Yeah. That's right. Bring your ass back, Mr. Daniel. Bang, bang. You're dead. Now, where did I kill that other person? Oh, over around here. Yes, health compensator. Another vest. Okay, so I need 5 mil. Actually, since we have a crap load of 7 mil around, and one of these. Oh, that sucks. It's the luxuries of being able to drive. Ooh, full-time scope. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, I got a ton of 7 mil. Oh my god. Yeah, you won't be able to miss much on that. 49-inch monitor. Actually, it was when I had my bud there also playing over. We were watching YouTube on what the fudge? Someone's going to town. Ooh. Ooh, do I switch out for the M32? In regards to that fart, yes, I have actually heard about Windows 11. It kind of sounds like it's a repackage of the existing Windows 10, just tweaked around a little bit more. maybe the actual OS is built out a little bit better. Has the ability to take advantage of probably the core performance. So like if you actually happen to have a computer that has like 6 cores, 7 cores, 8 cores, and so forth and so forth, you probably are gonna have a better experience. Just drove a Hyundai Pony Coupe. Oh, that's where they. Okay, that's nice. So, yeah, I mean that's basically everything. Like usually with every advancement of the Windows platform, they usually find a way to tweak it and enable it to have better performance with hardware. So, for example, like AMD's Threadripper processors, you're able to have like 32 cores with like 64 threads, so you had like all kinds of processing power, but like the certain initial versions of Windows 10 wasn't able to actually utilize them all, so they actually had to make a special patch. Whereas this now, with this Windows 11, if you actually as a consumer wanted to have more than 8 cores in your computer system, like say like you do video editing or music editing, stuff like that, then you're going to actually have the Windows actually utilize it better. The Windows 11. And again, like everything else, it's like, oh, new operating system, you gotta get new hardware. You know, there's still people, they're still rolling around on Windows 7. And it's like, ew. My one other bud that I've known since childhood, he was like, ugh, I can't stand with the new Windows 10. I said, you do know you can actually make Windows 10 look like Windows 7, right? He's like, oh, crap. I said, just gotta do it and try it and you'll see. And like I had said to him, I said, besides that, I think the actual Windows 10 itself interface, while it can be confusing at first, it's actually a way better interface than Windows 7 in regards to simpler to like look at it and so forth. So it's just mostly tweaks. I'm just gonna attempt the tab here for a second and actually turn off the webcam, because that doesn't make any sense. There we go. Oh, crap. Nothing like giving away my cover. I need to pull that back up. Somebody messing around trying to find people. They're hiding. Let's go to 6 times. We're not driving anywhere else now. Battlefield. Oh, crap. Ah! I got 11th. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm swirling around my body like a bee. Bzzz. So yeah, I kind of dig the Battlefield series, but you know, the inherent biggest problem is with a lot of stuff. Games are expensive. And so like games like that are like really, really expensive. EA is notably known for always having really, really high priced games, whether it's for the for a console or for the PC. It's always uber expensive, and I mean, especially now that they're releasing varying versions of games, like that game, Battlefield 2042. If I remember correctly, when I seen it on pre-order, it's like they offer like a digital version of it, and it's like 130 US, and I was like, "Jeez, that's crazy! That price." Like, you know, the companies don't realize that, you know, especially with the pandemic going on, you know, people aren't like rolling in coin to be able to pay that for games. Like even the base game, I think is 60 US, and it's like, no. And I mean, especially in this day and age, like a lot of the free to play games, like PUBG, I actually think is free to play now. I think it went free to play a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. But I paid like the $20 for it to get it when it was going to launch, and it was worth it. But I still should be able to have all the premium aspects of it. But yeah. But the kind of the same thing as like with the free to play games. They talk about the pay to win aspect, which is strange. Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Well, you shouldn't, because I've got 0 dropped frame rates. So I don't know what you're doing, YouTube. Successfully connected. Oh, great. Well, awesome to hear that you've had surgeries and treatments for the cancer. Hope to see you around more, and I hope you continue to do well. Good luck at the DMV getting your license stuff in order. Fert, and I'll catch you later. Again, thanks for stopping by. You're welcome. Again, like I said, good people deserve to have good things paid to them and good things done to them. So while I'm still streaming here, um, those that might still be watching and watch this on replay, I might be doing a live stream with Basement Guitarist Superstar this week. I'm just waiting for them to get back to me to set up a time date to do so. It'll be interesting to interact with him because he's a new YouTuber, and especially more so, he's actually made his first appearance on sorry, he's ventured down to NAM for the first time. God, I hate how I can be like that at times, the fumbly mumble mouthed. So I'm interesting to talk to him further on that, to see, like, I mean, he's already given his impression on it initially, but it's interesting for somebody who hasn't been around YouTube a whole long time, and they've managed to make it into, one of the bigger points when it comes to, like, the YouTube guitar community. To make it to that point of one of the biggest things going on in the company, or sorry, not in the company, but in regards to the guitar community and guitar industry as a whole. Yes, health. I need to tweak this a little bit better here. So let us go to main display capture. There we go. That should be a bit better. Yes, you do see all my personal stuff there. Ah. Pull that back up. So again, yeah, when you have the system performance to do so, you actually can have the luxuries of running a whole bunch of stuff in the background. it's better performance. I decided to, what some people might not have noticed was, I actually was only capturing the program window in itself, so I was actually getting a lower performance, but now because I'm actually capturing the whole, my whole primary display, my frame rates are gonna be higher up for in the game as well as out there to you folks. But so far it looks like my RAM definitely was the issue, and definitely the system seems to be a lot more stabler with the new RAM in place, the more bandwidth it has for it. So another thought while I'm in the game here is I'd just like to take the time to thank the moderators out there in YouTube. Again, the majority of folks out there do it for free. They get little to no compensation, and they just do it for the betterment of the channel. And to those folks specifically, my hat's off to you, and I hope you are well and have, you know, a lot of positive things going on for you in your life because of that. You know, just trying to make YouTube as a whole a better existence for folks, and for the channels you moderate for. The biggest problem that I come into, and I've said this numerous times with on various channels and such, that there's a big issue in YouTube where YouTubers have enabled their channels to have moderators, and the reality is the people are not moderators. They're not real moderators. It's more for status, which I'm glad that YouTube has actually realized that, and they've made channel members, and there's Patreon and such that are for, you know, that benefit. But the reality is people, and I say this from my experience with being a moderator in text forums, voice chat servers, and so forth, people shouldn't be just giving those wrenches out to just any individual. They should be giving them out to people that are actually going to do the job. And it's what I feel is a big problem, is people getting the wrench. Wrench is status, and there is people out there that even have tried to personally attack me, that thinking like that I'm trying to get wrenches because I'm trying to be controlling or I'm trying to get status. And it's like, no, I'm offering people someone to have control of what's going on in their chat server, or sorry, in their side chats, because there are lots of people that the platform just allows to come on, and there's no consequences to said individuals in the way of things that they can say and do to not only the channel owner, but the other users in the channel. Say like the trolling, harassment, accusations, and everything else. Like, it's really ridiculous out there, all that goes on. And so again, I just want to say, like, for those channel operators out there that are actually utilizing their mods to be mods, as well as to those moderators that actually are trying to help keep side chats friendly and enjoyable for people in streams, you know, big thumbs up, big clap of hands, you know. I can't do more than verbally thank you folks, and, you know, acknowledge and, you know, give views that kind of you know, thank you and acknowledgement of, you know, realizing, you know, how much you need to control your situations and how much they really do affect your you know, your YouTube streams like this, when you do live streaming or even your own videos. It's all, it all affects. Okay, what do we got here? Ditch. Nice 4x scopes. Ooh. We want that one. Flash hider, cheek pad, and 4 times. Lost in my train of thoughts here into the game, so yeah, I mean, you know, it's awesome that there's, like, you know, there's some realization and rationalization that there needs to be some accountability, and that's another thing as well too. Like, it's so funny that a lot of these trolls come out and they try to look for and make accountability to people's existing things away from YouTube. I mean, if someone's gay, transgendered, there's a lot of individuals out there that are rumbling around that are not necessarily true parts of the YouTube guitar community, but they like to try to involve themselves in the YouTube guitar community, as well as other communities, and they show like these negative aspects, and I really feel YouTube needs to still step it up and, you know, put that in check. And I think to a certain degree, I feel they're starting to put measures in place with the algorithms to do something to kind of curb that, but there's still users that still somehow find a way to break around the algorithm and whatnot, and be able to do this toxic stuff, and I just don't think it's very cool. With that said, back to the gaming, and again, just hope people, you know, get a better understanding and mindset in trying to make YouTube a more positive place. My biggest point in regards of that is people wonder why channels have a hard time to get monetization or like earn incomes, and it's because of that aspect. These people going around trolling everyone and whatnot, it makes it next to impossible for people to, you know, be positive. People wanting to be around on the platform as well too. Views are a big factor into things as well too. And there's a lot of users that don't help with that and help with, you know, the sponsors and advertisers to you know, be of existence and want to keep around on the platform. So it ruins it for anyone that, you know, does want to try to make even a few bucks. And I mean literally, even when I briefly had monetization before they put it all down, monetization didn't actually give a lot of money. Like, you have to have like almost the perfect kind of platform or the perfect topic of interest to someone, and also you know, put out decent content to, you know, have someone be interested in viewing your channel, and unfortunately it's not that simple. So like I said earlier on, when I had monetization, I'll be honest, the most I ever got from YouTube in a month was $22. That's it. Nothing more. And on average, I probably got about $12 a month. So that doesn't provide for a whole hell of a lot. in regards of, you know, earning an income or getting money or whatnot from YouTube, but at the same time, you know, it's also not much incentive to allow someone to or have somebody want to actually give stuff or do stuff on YouTube. Come on. Ooh, that's close. Ooh, the blood splattering on me. No. So again, just trying to say, like, you know, try to support your fellow YouTubers. Try to support the positive and good YouTubers, not the ones that are posting obsessive compulsive videos of other YouTubers or hate videos. You know, that's definitely not cool and shouldn't be going on in general. Ooh, nice. 3 times vest. Welcome, Joaquin Black UE, if I said that correctly. If not, I'm sorry. Yes, I've been playing it for a while now. When I'm away from YouTube. And one of the big things as well too in regards to PUBG is a lot of the bots have been removed from the game. There's still some botting, but it's definitely not to the degree of what it was. 4 more alive. That was funny. I should have got out and shot them, but still. So it's been live for an hour and a half. Wow. Four viewing, 3 likes. Thank you very much. Think we'll actually, I'll do one more normal match. Let's see what we got here under career. Customize. Career weapons. Oh. Oh, this one. Okay. Change the charm. What did I get? Oh, I got the level 5 charm. Cool. So, we'll change it from that to random map, and we will do one more match, and then I'll end the stream at just under 2 hours. So again, thank you everyone who has been tuned in, who's been listening to my random thoughts and ramblings about what's going on with computer technology, musical instrument related stuff, YouTube community. Again, this is what my channel is about. It's about things in general, life in general. Trying to have a positive existence and footprint in life to have a better existence while we're still here. You know, doing so for the betterment of everyone in society, everyone around you, and again, as much as some people don't believe in it, karma is real, and for the most part, the people that do put in the positives and helpfulness in life, usually those are rewarded back to you. By the way, this is crazy. Since it's soccer, they've actually put in little soccer balls for like World Cup stuff. It's like... So again, the channel isn't one specific topic. It's one generalized topic, one generalized discussion about simply everything in life. Some of the things here that I do on the channel, the guitar playing, the bass playing, the modifying, repairing, finishing, gaming stuff, you know, it's all hobby stuff. It's not meant necessarily to be a profession. And while that probably differs away from what actually generates and helps make my channel popular, it's like I said, I don't want quantity of viewers or quantity of subscribers. I want quality. I want good people. I want to know that I'm helping people in life, and I'm not wanting the negative and toxicity aspect of life. And that's probably a lot of the one thing I get brought up a lot to me by people is people wonder why I get so much dislike from some folks. And it simply comes down to this. I'm willing to ignore, and very openly and very adamantly ignore, the negative and toxic people in society, as well as I won't support those types of individuals. I will usually always say, like, don't support what they're doing or whatnot, or give them an advantage, such as, say, like on this platform, which many of them do. Again, we need to support the good people in society. We need to support the people that are wanting to help others in society. We want to support the people that make life better for others, as well as doing so for yourself. I mean, you don't have to give you don't have to be selfless and selflessly giving in the nature of who you are as an individual, but it's at the same time, it's like I said, a compliment here, a flirt here with a woman makes her smile, so many varying things, smiling at somebody when you're just walking down the street, that, I'm surprised that, there's a lot of people that, don't do that nowadays. Like, give a simple hello. It's amazing what the smallest gestures in life return for a reward for you. And I just simply try to, make that be known that, the be all end all is exactly that. Okay, let's see now. Where do we want to go? It's funny, I'm talking at times here, And it almost feels like, like I feel like Reverend Lovejoy from The Simpsons. Now, everybody, you will want to pray to the Lord, and He will be good to you if you are good to Him. But again, it's kind of like I said, society has gotten very negative and toxic, and it's really sad that things have gone that way. And you always, if you're brought up the right way, you always hope that people will be better. And people will want to, have a betterment in life, want to live a better life, but there's still so many people out there that live in a world of hate, self-hate, hate for other people. Jealousy is a big time thing that's seen. Like around in YouTube, like it's crazy the amount of people that like will people that'll put down or boycott or tell people you won't watch X channel because they're a bad person, but the reality is they themselves might be the person that hate them, but that doesn't mean that everyone else that's on the platform hates them or dislikes them either, and that really should be something that we don't have to put up with. And I find that as well when I'm doing the modding, is that people say like, well, I can say whatever I want. Yes, you can, but that does not mean that you are entitled to you can have that validated all you want, but that does not mean that everyone else in a stream has that same idealism or mindset or thought about an individual or about a topic or some other aspect in life. And it's like I say, YouTube is part of a platform, or is one of the platforms on the internet to share your thoughts and express your feelings about things. But the other reality is it's not the be all end all platform in the way of that you say it, that's how it is. And that's one of the many things I've discovered over the years, is that the more you try to control people, the more people don't want to be controlled. So it's it's not a very cool thing to do, is to try to control and manipulate people. And that's why, like I say, to me, I feel if you're honest and sincere when you talk about something, as well as respectful, I think more people are accepted and open-minded to that possibility than if you're a toxic, close-minded, angry-filled person. Hey, Absolute Mayhem. How you doing? Good morning and happy tree pruning. even though I do not partake in the tree. Though there is at times I probably wouldn't mind, so it's the resources are a big thing, and the smoke aspect of it I'm not too great with. But it is awesome that you kind of bankroll a certain someone. But beyond that, are you home or are you at work? Learning. Am I working on learning any songs? Before I decided to stream this morning, I was thinking about actually just playing around on my acoustic and doing this. Oh, that's awesome. Um, I have been kind of thinking about trying to work on some songs. I don't have the desires to be a RJ Ronquillo or whatnot, but I'd like to be more competent, and I think I can be more competent than what I am. That I probably could get into doing some songs and whatnot. Beyond that, I think it's more. I think what I'm discovering, and it's something my friend there, House of Twang, has kind of already discovered, even though he is not that big of a player, is that once you get your sound set up, that really is like where your creativity comes from. And like I said, my friend there, House of Twang, he's got quite the collection of amps and guitars going now. Stuff that would be like, in your range of like what you could afford, or maybe even a little bit above. But the inherent problem is he's still so new on learning that it's like he can't utilize the stuff. So it's awesome that he allows me to do this. Like, he allows me to go over there and like plugs me in, and I belt out some stuff that I kind of always play around with and play on, and so it allows him to actually hear all this like awesome guitar and amp hardware that he's amassed over the last like 3-4 years now. And I didn't want to jump off. So in my garage I've got drums, 2 guitars, my Viper and Telly half step down Boss GT1, yeah. Rock, metal, grunge, blues, Green Day, Black Sabbath, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of one of the things that, like I was saying back in the day, that when I had the Viper VIP, it was like, as much as it was solid state and everything else, it was an awesome amp because everything was, I want to play this style of music, point, click, or click on the Sampera controller, and you're set. And you can't necessarily do that on a tube amp or a single channel amp or whatever. It's a lot of, you got to go to the amp, you got to put this effect on, you got to dilate it in this way, and so forth and so forth. So, I mean, mind you though, I've enjoyed having the Origin 20, especially since I've made it that it's more of a clean platform. What I've discovered as of late, though, with the Harley Benton cab is it's too loud and too trebly, the speakers in it, and it definitely affects how the amp sounds. So I've actually found replacement speakers that actually would fix the problem. Unfortunately, they're Jensen Jet series, and they're $200 Canadian each, and it's like, oh God Almighty, too expensive, and definitely too much out of my range that I'd have to save for a while and maybe even try to sell gear. Yeah, but they're really nice. They're like they're almost like the old Fendery um, speakers out of the Fender amps out of the 70s, except it actually has reinforced mid and bottom end in them with an Alnico speaker magnet. It's amazing. It's kind of like Ben has said and other people have said, speakers can totally change the way an amp sounds. And in turn, an amp can change the way speakers sound in general. Like when I had that Bugera G5 running through that 2x12, it sounded okay, but it was kind of more probably geared towards the speakers a bit better. But like this Marshall this Marshall Origin 20 is definitely a whole new ball game because of the tubes and whatnot. In the rock room, I got a wall of guitars, and I basically used the Line 6 Pod Go headphones. Yeah. That's the other thing as well, too, and I'll say that with the Viper, like, with the Viper specifically the Viper VIP 2 that I had. The biggest problem is, and in the case of a lot of those modelers, is the actual stock sound that you get out of the speaker is like atrocious. And so that was the biggest problem with the Viper VIP for me. Was it's just like when you're listening to Steve from Boston, you think it's an amp, but all the while it's software. So when like software and emulation gets to the point that what you hear in your ears is like so stereo and so much high definition, like kind of like I said, like in regards to earlier in my stream about using onboard sound and dedicated sound cards, like that Viper when it went through onboard sound sounded like crap. But when you actually gave it a dedicated and good sound card to go through, it takes over that mindset of where it's like you said, you go to headphones and you're like, I'm not going to use anything else but headphones because of how good it is and how good it sounds like, and it inspires you to actually play more. So now the inherent problem is with the Origin and putting the awesome tongue saw tubes in the preamp of it. It's got awesome cleans, good yeah, that's pretty much it. Like yeah, that's kind of like how my friend was. Like when he got an orange amp. He did not like the orange amp at all. He had one of the orange Tiny Terror 15s that didn't have the effects loop in it. And he discovered he doesn't like the fizzy fuzziness of it. And then it was like yesterday when he was over there, House of Twang, we're watching on my big screen Agufish showing the orange Rockerverb 100 Mark III. It's like, my God, that amp sounds awesome. But to him, to his ears, he wasn't a fan of it because it was too like too fizzy or whatnot. But meanwhile, there's a lot of gain and everything else that does involve that mid and fizzy. Okay, Mayhem. Have a good meeting. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for dropping by and chit-chatting. Time to get a move on. And thanks. What the? Oh. Still made it top 4. Stealthing it. Oh. That said, coming up on 2 hours. Gaming, talking, everything else. So I think I'm going to wrap up this stream just short of just short of 2 hours. We will bring this to the top, and we will exit out of the game. So, with that said, thank you everyone who tuned in, interacted with me, chatted, left a like, you know, all that good stuff. Hope yous had a hope yous have an awesome morning. Hope yous have an awesome day, and I'll see yous around on YouTube, or in some cases, I'll actually see yous around in real life. That said, have a good day, everyone, and I will talk to yous later. Bye for now.